The government's plan to legalize marijuana across the country by next July has added another layer of intrigue to the mystery of dispensaries. While technically illegal right now, there's confusion about why many of the stores enjoy long periods of hassle-free operation and then seemingly arbitrary police raids. To talk more about this, we're joined by Michael Lickver, Associate at Bennett Jones and Counsel to the Canadian Medical Cannabis Industry Association. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this, what people are calling a legal gray area that we just described. But for all intents and purposes, these dispensaries are illegal.
They are.
Okay, that's the short answer, right?
That's the short answer.
From a legal standpoint, while they enjoy, an address, they are drug dealers with addresses.
It's a harsh way to put it, but they're not operating in any kind of loophole.
There's no loophole.
There's no loophole.
So talk to me about this. Like, where are we? What are we living in right now?
We're living in an interesting time. We're living at the end of Prohibition. I think there's just a lot of confusion out there in the Canadian public, and apologies for blaming the media, but the media has a bit to do with that, and it's not their fault. You have Vancouver municipalities licensing dispensaries going against federal law, so that's confusing. Mm-hmm. Then you have the Liberal government saying we're going to legalize it. So
but it's legal. It's illegal until it's legal.
For medical purposes, it's legal now.
Yes.
But agreed, it's illegal. You cannot just open a store and start selling. I do think on a positive note, it shows Canadians' pent-up demand for actually wanting to do this in a legal manner and wanting to not go to their back alley drug dealers anymore. And they want to do, and they want to be open about it.
Talk to me about where this disconnect occurs between municipalities and the federal government's position.
Sure. I mean, again, it's just really Vancouver here, and I believe Victoria now, and they've just decided, look, dispensaries are a problem in our city, so we have to license them or do something about them and not leave them in this black hole or gray hole, as some people are alluding to, until that July 1st, 2018 hits. So they have decided to license them, still illegal at the federal level, though.
Okay, so in the meantime, what are the legal consequences of owners and employees who work in these dispensaries, who profit from dispensaries?
Yeah, it's actually pretty straightforward. I mean, it's possession, trafficking, and potentially proceeds of crime. Now, getting charged is one thing. Having a conviction is another. So we're seeing a lot of these cases getting thrown out, and that might be why people continue to allude to this gray market. So, yes, people are getting arrested, and there's a risk, but what's going to happen on the other end? I don't know. I'm not a criminal lawyer.
There's also a cost associated with these raids, and a lot of people are wondering, look, if it's going to be legal, I mean, is there a political will for the police to raid these places and then see them reopen the very next day, or see whatever charges are laid kicked out or dropped?
Yeah, I don't want to speak on behalf of the police, but I think, there are bad actors and there are good actors, and if you're out there selling to 16-year-olds and you have big sandwich boards outside and you're, flagrantly violating the law, then you're probably going to get raided. And if you pop back open, it's like playing whack-a-mole right now, unfortunately. I think what we need some guidance from the federal government, which they've promised is coming soon, on what distribution is going to look like when we legalize. And when that happens, dispensary owners, employees, et cetera, the rest of the Canadian public will have a better idea of what's going to come.
But that better idea might not be good news for them, because if it's left up to the provinces, for example, in Ontario, could decide that the LCBO is going to be, or Shoppers Drug Mart that's applied for license, they could be the ones selling legal marijuana, and all of these dispensaries, they could be on the outside looking in.
That's right, and I don't think anybody would be crazy surprised if that's the direction Ontario wanted to take it, but at least you'd have the correct guidance at that point, and then dispensary owners who, if given the opportunity, would love to join the legal regime. They're not bad people. So perhaps at that point they would reevaluate and decide another way to get into the legal regime and another way to service the industry through an ancillary service or a business, et cetera.
So between now and July 1st, what advice would you give to dispensary owners on how to behave?
That is a difficult question. Behave within the parameters of the law?
Whatever that means these days.
Wait for the regulations to come out, read them carefully, and then figure out how you can operate in the legal regime. It's going to be a great industry. It's going to be huge, and we want everybody to participate.
It's a brave new world, and you're
excited.
You're excited. Hey, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I think there's a lot of confusion, and if we can lift that fog just a little bit, though, and I'm sure we've helped some people.